discover our loyalty to each other. When you open your heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice.
At a congressional luncheon, the president sounded a more conciliatory note, paying tribute to his defeated Democratic rival.
I was very honored when I heard that President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton was coming today, and I think it's appropriate to say, and I'd like you to stand up.
President Trump and former President Obama were cordial throughout the inaugural, but before leaving Washington, Mr. Obama told supporters President Trump's rejection of his agenda is just a brief episode in a long national journey.
This is not a period, this is a comma in the continuing story of building America.
First, the President Trump, and First Lady Melania are attending 3 inaugural balls tonight. Scott, over the weekend, the First Family and White House staff will move into the residence, the Oval Office, and the West Wing, all in preparation for the first full day under the new Trump administration on Monday.
Major Garrett in front of the Trump White House tonight. Major, thank you. John Dickerson is our CBS News political director and the anchor of Face the Nation. John, inauguration speeches are always about binding the wounds of the election and bringing the country together, and that's not what happened today.
No, this was straight out of Donald Trump's campaign, where he loved the roar of the crowd in front of him, and he gave his speech today to the crowd in front of him, those people who felt like their politicians had betrayed them. There were signs that he was going to talk about unity, but usually with a unity speech, you offer something to the people who are nervous about you as a president, who didn't vote for you. He offered unity, but only on his terms. And then he destabilized things further by attacking Republicans and Democrats, the politicians, by saying they're the ones who sold out those people in the audience.
Well, as you say, he excoriated Republicans and Democrats alike. Can he accomplish his promises, get them through Congress?
He's trying a new route, which is basically to say, I have a movement, and I'm going to use the power of that movement to force you to do what I want. That's the theory. The other theory, though, that I'm hearing from the Hill is they think this is a negotiating posture. This is the opening bid. He has got his group on his side, and he'll work out the details with lawmakers, and we'll have to just see how that all shakes out.
John Dickerson, thank you very much. John will have a primetime special tonight with Gayle King on the inauguration. That is coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. More than 60 Democratic members of Congress boycotted the inauguration today, so will the new chief executive get along with Capitol Hill? Nancy Cordes takes a look.
At the stroke of noon, Democrats found themselves out in the cold. A minority party in the House and Senate now shunted out of the White House, too.
I was hoping that he would say more to bring the country together.
Other Democrats described this speech as a dark portrait of America, crime-ridden and weak.
To people who say this speech was dark, isolationist, what do you say?
Well, yes, it was isolationist, clearly.
Nebraska Republican Jeff Fortenberry said the party may not agree with its new leader on everything, but there's enough common ground to keep them busy.
I think there is a great deal to be accomplished that can be accomplished quickly, and I think the people are demanding it.
Starting with the creation of a cabinet.
The ayes are 98.
Late this afternoon, the Senate confirmed Mr. Trump's nominees for Secretary of Defense and Secretary of Homeland Security. But Republicans slammed Democrats for holding up votes on the others.
Earlier today, the director and deputy director of the CIA resigned. They left. They're gone.
Fights are coming soon over a border wall, corporate tax cuts, a Supreme Court vacancy, and the repeal of Obamacare. Congressional Democrats made a silent statement at the swearing-in today, wearing buttons that read, "Protect Our Care." They also began the task of rallying dejected supporters.
But our response has got to be not to throw up our hands in despair, not to give up.
Democrats don't want to get stuck with the party of no label they pinned on Republicans for years. So they made it clear today, Scott, that they want to work on some of Mr. Trump's top issues, like infrastructure spending and trade.
Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill. Nancy, thank you. Several blocks off the parade route, anti-Trump protesters turned destructive and violent. More than 200 people were arrested and at least 6 police officers were injured. Chip Reed has more on this.
Protesters dressed in black, some wearing masks, moved through downtown streets, setting fires, smashing storefront windows, some fighting with police. Officers dressed in riot gear responded with pepper spray and stun grenades. Closer to the Capitol building, members of the Black Lives Matter movement chained themselves together, blocking an entrance to the National Mall. Several Trump supporters scuffled with the group. Members of the LGBTQ community sang and danced as they blocked another security entrance. Ceci Blanchard traveled from Poughkeepsie, New York to protest.
That they also should be challenged. They shouldn't just be allowed a free pass into this. They have to be making an active decision. This just can't be like a fun event for them. They have to see the people they're hurting.
Nearly 24 groups received permits to protest in Washington today, but around the country in San Francisco, Houston, and Boston, groups also gathered to show their opposition to President Trump.
Hell no, no Trump!
Sam Ager came to D.C. with a group of hotel workers.
I think it's going to be 4 years of constant battling. I'm not a fan of this new administration at all. Donald Trump has shown time and time again that he doesn't care about working people in this country.
At one point during the parade, President Trump, the First Lady, and their son Barron got out of the car and walked, but Scott, as they approached a large group of protesters, a Secret Service agent tapped the president on the back. That was the signal to return to the safety of their armored limousine.
Chip Reed along the parade route for us. Chip, thank you. Coming up next on this expanded edition of the CBS Evening News, Inauguration Day in a Midwestern state that made history. And later, we'll give a listen to inaugural music over the years.